As most of us are staying at home at the moment, other than our one exercise a day where we're allowed outside for a run or a walk or a bike ride, I thought I would make this video all about running tips and advice from my personal experience. I think because I've been sharing a bit of my running journey on my Instagram recently, on my stories, people have been asking me how I motivate myself to get out and run and how I'm getting faster. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily a fast runner, but I'm at the moment, my average run is about 10 kilometers in 46 minutes. I used to be able to do 45 minutes easily, but the difference in the environment, I think, plays a massive part. So the runs at the moment are through fields, along rivers and very, very steep hills, probably like 5 steep hills. So I'm pretty pleased with my 46 minutes, and I just thought I would share some of my tips and advice with you guys if it's helpful. Before I get into my actual tips, I just want to say I think running can be an incredibly intimidating and daunting sport because you are out in the open, sometimes running on roads where cars are driving past, and maybe running through parks where other people are there and they can see you. I would like to say in response to that actually people don't care. Like, people literally don't notice runners. Like, how often would you sit on a park bench or whatever and like watch a runner and criticize them? It just doesn't happen, and especially from other runners, because if anything, I think runners like, cool, there's another runner, woo, like you want to give them a high five. Like, no one's going to be judging you. Also, don't worry if you feel like you're not good at running now, because you don't have to be a runner to run, if that makes sense, because your body adjusts so quickly and you will get fit in a relatively short amount of time if you keep up regular runs. For example, I had stopped running in India, and when I came back to the UK a few weeks ago, I was running 2.5 Ks where I am, and that felt like a marathon and it was really tough, but I just kept at it, and now I'm running the 10 Ks and absolutely love it. So don't worry about your starting point, because every single runner starts somewhere. My first piece of advice is to plan ahead. I find that if you make a mental note with yourself, make an appointment with yourself to run the next day or whenever it is during the week, you're more likely to stick to it rather than just waking up in the morning and thinking, oh, I really should do some exercise, maybe I should run. No, I really don't want to run, I'm not gonna run. Like, that's how it normally plays out, right? Whereas if the night before, for example, this is what I do before I go to bed, I lay out my running clothes with my trainers, my underwear, my socks, my top, like literally everything is laid out, and I make an appointment with myself that I am running in the morning. And then it works, because in the morning you wake up, and no matter how you feel, if it's like, oh, I really don't want to go on a run, your stuff's there, you roll out of bed, you just kind of throw it on, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I better stick with my appointment, I better go. And there are lots of other ways that you can plan ahead for your runs as well, whether that's your other workouts. So for example, the day before a run, it's probably not wise to do an intense lower body workout, so you can plan ahead in that way. Like, okay, well, today I'm going to do upper body or abs or a different kind of cardio workout, so that tomorrow for my run I'm going to feel amazing and ready for it. It's also important to plan your route ahead, especially if you are running longer distances, so that you don't have to worry about, am I going left, right, where am I going at this crossroads on your run. You just know where you're going and you keep going, because that can really slow you down. So I've got my route kind of figured out now. I've got like 3 or 4 different routes that I like to take from where I am, and that helps so much, because it means as soon as I start running, I don't need to think about this and make any decisions. I'm just going, and all I'm thinking about is how fast I'm going or my environment and looking around, and I'm not worrying about where am I lost, where do I go from here. My next piece of advice is to run with someone else, so find a running buddy. Now obviously right now, considering the current situation, this has to be someone from your household. However, you can go on a virtual run with someone, so you could text a friend the night before, because we're planning ahead, remember, and say, do you fancy going on a run tomorrow? And you would both plan out a run in your different areas that are the same distance. Say you want to go on a 3-kilometer run, and then you can basically go on a run at the same time, even though you're in completely different places. You could do this with someone on the other side of the world, and then when you finally cross the finish line, wherever that might be, you're kind of in it together. And I think this really helps with motivation to actually go on a run, because if you know that you've already agreed with someone else to go, you're more likely to go. You don't want to be the person that's like, I really can't be bothered, I don't think I'm gonna join you. But I would say it's even better if you have someone in your household that wants to start running or is already a runner, because it's just more fun and it's really good for motivation to actually go. I love running with Joe, and if he's up for a run, I'll be like, oh, okay, well I might as well go with him then. And when we're on the run, I get very competitive and I want to keep up with him and he wants to keep up with me. So your runs, I find, tend to be faster when you're with someone else, if you're wanting to get a good time. Otherwise, it can just be a nice leisurely run where you have a bit of a chat. You can also make sure that you're both tracking your runs, no matter where you are in the world. It kind of just proves that you've been on a run together as such. And that leads me on to my next tip, which is download a running app. So the running app that I have used for years and years and years now is the Nike Run Club, and I think it's brilliant. I mean, granted, it's the only one that I've ever used because it's the one that I downloaded when I first started running, and I'm so pleased that I have used it consistently over these years, because every single run that I have been on, including the London Marathon in 2016, is recorded on there, and I just love that. And it's a really great way to set goals, obviously, as well. So if you want to run a really fast 5k, you basically need to download a running app so that you can measure your distance, measure your speed, and I find they're pretty accurate. So they're definitely worth your while if you want to get into regular running, and especially if you're a beginner, download the running app now, because it will be absolutely fascinating to see how much you improve in just a matter of weeks. I also find when you're tracking your runs, you're less likely to stop and you're more likely to go faster because it knows what you're doing. So you're like, I am not stopping, I am getting a good time. Moving on to my next piece of advice, get yourself a decent pair of trainers and activewear. It really works at making sure you are just giving that run your all. I think this does apply to all workouts. Like we all know, if you get yourself a really great pair of trainers and amazing activewear and you feel you look the part, you're just going to give that workout your all. And of course it's the same for running. When I bought my first pair of Adidas Ultra Boost trainers, it felt like I was running on springs, like I had rockets on my feet. It was amazing, and it was the best feeling because I didn't realize what a difference trainers made. I think when I first started running, I was running in like general gym trainers, and I probably had them for so many years that the sole had worn down and they just were not good for running. Like, I don't know, it was just like pounding the pavement. Whereas as soon as you get some proper running trainers, that's what they're made for. They are like springs, and it makes you go so much faster and you feel so much more confident in your running. So definitely invest in a pair of good trainers. And the same goes for activewear, of course. Probably less so performance wise, although you can get some absolutely amazing performance running activewear, but more so on how it makes you feel and the confidence that I think great activewear gives you. My favourites are Nimble, Sweaty Betty, and the Adidas Ultra Boost for the trainers. Nimble is an amazing sustainable activewear brand, so definitely check them out. The next piece of advice is probably my favourite and the most important. It is mind over matter. This mainly applies for when you are on that run, probably halfway through the run or near the end, and you want to stop. And I get this probably on every single run, especially since I've upped the distance. Like on my 10k runs, there definitely gets to a point where I'm like, oh, I just want to stop. Okay, I'm gonna stop. This is too much. I feel exhausted. I don't want to go anymore. But then you give yourself a body scan and you're like, my legs actually feel okay. Like my legs are still moving. They're still going fast. They're fine. My heart is good, like it's up, my heart rate is up, but it's good, like there's no pain. And my lungs, yeah, okay, my breathing is heavy and long and strong, but it's good, like it's still good. I'm not like completely out of breath. The only reason I want to stop is because my mind, my brain is telling me it wants to stop. It's basically that I'm bored or fed up and I just want to get home, I want to get my breakfast. So my mind is telling me to stop, but my body is actually okay. Like, yeah, I feel exhausted, but I can still keep going. I know I can keep going. So maybe try telling yourself this, you know, when you're on your run and you're getting to that point, maybe you're hitting a bit of a wall and you want to stop, give yourself a body scan. If you're not feeling physically great, then of course listen to your body and stop. But if it's just your mind telling you to stop, just keep going. You're stronger than that. You can do it. My next point is, of course, nutrition. I couldn't make a video about running and not speak about food, because for me, my runs are heavily impacted on my diet. I do eat a fully vegan, plant-based diet, and I find that gives me so much energy, and I definitely recover very fast from any workout, and I think that is down to the plant-based way of eating. But there is a lot to nutrition and running, because you need to find a balance of making sure that you're fueling your body so you have enough energy to go on these runs, but also you don't want to be full and digesting food and then you'll feel sluggish and slow. So you need to find that balance. I personally find that running fasted in the morning is the best thing, and I've tried running at all times of the day and all different types of food before or after, and I just find that this works the best for me. So first thing, I wake up in the morning, I hydrate, I warm up, I spend like 10 minutes doing lunges, squats, leg swings, that kind of thing, just to wake up my legs, and then I just get out the door and I run. And that might seem a bit extreme, especially for people that much prefer the like afternoon and evening runs, but I just don't like feeling food sat in my stomach, and I just can't run when I'm still digesting food. So for me personally, the best time to run is the morning, and it just sets me up for a really great day. However, if you prefer to have something to eat before your run to fuel your muscles and your body, then I would say eat about an hour at least before your run. So you might want to wake up a little bit earlier, have your breakfast, wait for that to digest for about an hour, and then go. For this meal, carbs are the key to give you the most energy. So something like a banana or a smoothie, a small bowl of porridge can work, and also some whole wheat bread, maybe with a little bit of peanuts or almond butter. Something that's really just going to give you more energy, but just make sure you do wait for that to digest before you start running, because that is not gonna feel good. It's then super important to replenish your body after your run. This is when nutrition is an absolute key. So I tend to focus on carbs and protein after a run. So this is normally a protein shake with a banana, and I love Form Nutrition's plant-based protein powders. They are amazing, they taste delicious, so I always look forward to my post-run smoothie. And then something like a bowl of porridge with a spoonful of peanut butter stirred in. Or this morning, for example, after my 10k run that I did today, I came back and I had a whole grain crumpet, very British, with some sauteed spinach on the side and some tofu scramble, and also I had some grilled tomatoes on the side, and that was absolutely delicious and absolutely hit the spot and ticks all the boxes for carbs and protein, and it's completely vegan. And I definitely do think about, when I'm on my run, what am I going to make for breakfast when I get back, and that really keeps me going and definitely gets me home faster. And they're all of my tips and advice for running. I really hope that was useful. I think at the end of the day, a reason why I love running is because I really notice the benefits. I just love being outside in nature. I love running through like the forests and the fields, and it's a really great way to start the day. It's almost like a form of meditation, and it's a brilliant way of cleansing the mind and the body, and I just cannot recommend it enough. It just provides a great feeling of health and well-being. I just feel fit when I run consistently, and it improves cardiovascular health. Obviously, it strengthens bones, it strengthens muscles, it makes you feel happier, it releases endorphins, so it literally does make you feel better. So you will feel great when you get back from a run. And also it's great at maintaining a healthy weight or to lose weight. So I think when you feel and notice all of those benefits, it's the biggest motivation and incentive to get out there and fall in love with running. So yeah, I really hope this was helpful. Let me know what you think, and please, if I've missed anything that you think would be useful to other runners, please leave your tips and advice in the comments down below. Make sure you hit subscribe so you're notified for the next video, and I will see you guys very soon. Stay safe. Bye.
You look so funny with your big smiley face.
I'm running towards you, not smiling. Okay,
No.
I'll do it really serious this time. You're laughing at me.